Wherever there are Filipinos, there is adobo. And however many there are Filipinos, there are as many varieties of adobo, all cooked with the same love and passion. Wherever we may have come from, wherever we may have gone, amin ang adobo, ginisa at sinangkutsa sa lubos ng aming makakaya. I'm Susan Calo Medina, and this is Travel Time. You have just pledged your allegiance to the Adobo Republic.
There are many kinds of adobo, as you very well know. Whatever region you go to, iba-ibang klaseng version ng adobo. Pero sa pag-research namin, dun sa book project na Kulinaria, we define adobo more as a cooking technique, where the essential ingredients are, you must have garlic, you must have vinegar, you must have pepper, and a certain amount of fat in your cooking. Ang toyo, which is found in most adobos, is really an optional ingredient because it is the vinegar that is essential to define it as an adobo.
There is adobo in Spain, which is pork, but it's not as malasa as ours. Theirs is like braised pork, and they put them in jars. I guess they use it for as baon or spread for sandwich because it's covered with lard.
They say when the Spanish came that the adobo was already part of our diet because vinegar is very much a part of our culinary culture. French, adober. Okay, there is a dish called daube of beef, which is similar to our adobo, except that they're cooked in onions, in some white wine, and some spices as well. Again, it must have started way back when the French and probably the Mexicans or the Spanish were also trading with each other, and then somehow along the way through their travels, nagkaroon na ng konting influensya sila sa isa't isa. They decided to refer to that dish they found in the Philippines as adobo, in the style of their whatever they called it at that time. But I'd like to think that since vinegar is something indigenous to our country, and we use quite a lot of that, adobo is really something we can claim, but was just given the name adobo.
In the Philippines, the Kapampangans are well known for their food. They're well known for their way of eating. They know that there's a specific way to do this in Pampanga and to do that in Pampanga. And so there is a Kapampangan adobo. And who better to teach us than a true Kapampangan herself, Des Rodriguez Torres.
Hello.
Des, okay.
Yes.
How do you do Kapampangan adobo?
Okay, Kapampangan adobo to begin with is pale.
Okay.
Because there's no toyo. Use pork, liempo, and kasim. You can mix it. It is good to have liempo so that you have more fat.
Which the Kapampangans like?
Yes, which we love. And you put vinegar, salt, rock salt, no? And black pepper, whole black pepper, which has been crushed. We have to put the garlic, which we crush.
Okay. Okay.
See, in Kapampangan cooking, when you use vinegar, you let it boil without touching until the freshness, the aroma of the acid evaporates.
Okay.
That is the only time you touch it, and cover.
Okay. It's already evaporated?
Yes, it's
Okay.
evaporated, so we add a little water to help soften it, and then we cover. Kapampangan adobo is actually white adobo.
Okay.
Because there is no toyo at all. As in most Kapampangan cooking, the plain adobo is something that is cooked for a long time, simmered slowly. So now the pork is half cooked, and so we can add the chicken pieces which have been cut, and we can stir because the vinegar has evaporated.
Okay.
And of course, now we add more water
Okay.
to cook.
Uh-huh.
And then we cover and we lower the fire to a gentle simmer until it's cooked. Once it's cooked and its own fat has come out, then we fry it. You reduce until the fat comes out and your meat is tender. And then before serving, you fry it too, so it's golden brown. So it doesn't look like it's shocked meat. You know, in Kapampangan, it's called misdan. Yon. It's not that way. The preferable meat is kasim or liempo. So sometimes you mix together because the kasim will come out a bit dry. But you see with the liempo, then you have the layers of the meat and the fat, which is what the Kapampangans love.
Okay.
Fat. The lard comes out. So you fry it in its own lard. And if there's not much, then you can add a little oil. And then there will be some sauce from the vinegar, which you heat and then you pour on top. So, you know, when you serve it, it's golden brown and it's glistening because it's been drizzled with the fat.
Batangas adobo is like adobo everywhere else. It uses vinegar and all the other ingredients, but they use something that nobody else does. And who better to tell us about Batangas adobo or show us how to cook Batangas adobo than the Batangueña, Mirna Seismundo.
Okay.
Take it away, Mirna.
All right. So, like you said earlier,
Okay.
our adobo is not much different from the others, except perhaps for some ingredients that we delete or add. We've got vinegar, bawang, cracked peppercorns. We put a little toyo just for coloring, but mostly the vinegar is what makes the adobo in Batangas.
Okay.
So, merong iba magsasabi, wag hahaluin kasi mahihilaw or whatever, no? So, I guess in this case, yung prinsipyo na pag ini-evaporate mo yung alcohol, siguro
Oo,
doon sa
mas
suka, mas masarap,
Naiiwan yung essence.
mas nakukoncentrate ang flavors natin.
Okay.
So, we've got some pork with fat. For me, a definition of an adobo has to have all these ingredients that we mentioned. Garlic, vinegar, peppercorn,
And fat.
and fat.
So, hindi pwedeng walang fat.
Hindi pwede.
Okay.
So, andyan na yan. Nakalagay na natin. You add some water to this. Just enough to cover your meats.
Okay.
At pakukuluin na lang natin ito hanggang maluto ang chicken natin. Tapos maya-maya, alisin natin yung manok from the pot. We will continue to cook our pork and to reduce the liquid until there's a concentration of flavors.
Instead of the other way around na you put the chicken pag half-cooked na ang pork.
Hindi. But in our case, we like to combine our chicken and our pork because the additional flavors of the chicken also contribute, you know, to the flavor of the sauce. We set that aside. We cook down the liquid and tenderize the pork a little bit more. Tapos, fry natin in its own fat.
Okay.
We will brown the pork. Put back the chicken. And then, the addition of the annatto water
At the end.
at the end. I think what is common to all Batangas adobo is the addition of achuete water, annatto seeds. For coloring, there's really not very much flavor to it. The healthy color coming from the achuete provides, you know, the glow to our adobo and you know, and a slight difference in flavor. I guess if you want to be purist about an adobo, a Batangas adobo, it would have no soy sauce, but the color would come from the achuete water.
Adobo, cooked well, is already a sinful dish. Now, add to that gata. Well, dead man na sa calories.
Adobong hipon sa gata. Okay? Napakahirap pa rin ng recipe ito. 2 steps lang siya. Pag samasamahin mong lahat, pakukuluin mo, may idadagdag kang kakang-gata sa huli, tapos na. Pag sasama-samahin ko muna lahat ng mga rekadong kinakailangan natin, no? Sibuyas. Ito ang additional ingredient sa ating adobo sa gata. Ginger. Suka. Ang ating hipon. Ay, mabilis lang itong maluto. Tapos samahan na natin ang ating fresh coconut milk. Pakukuluin ko lang to ng sandali. At ang huling buhos natin, turo sa atin ng ating mga matatandang mga nagluluto, yung kakang gata, meaning yung pure na gata na walang halong tubig.
There are as many as the islands that we have because depending on the ingredients available, like in Bicol, for example, they do their adobo with gata because that's what they have plenty of. And then Central Luzon or Luzon in general, they use toyo with adobo.
A testament to the versatility of the adobo. A dish so simple, so cheap, and so good for you. Adobong kangkong.
Welcome to my cooking show. Kung nagtataka kayo kung nasan si Susan Calo Medina, dayuhan na siya sa sarili niyang bayan eh. So ngayon, dahil nagbabakasyon si Susan Calo Medina, magluluto ako ng napakahirap na dish, adobong kangkong. Medyo ginawa nating espesyal din yung ating adobong kangkong. Sosyal na adobong kangkong. So, umpisahan na natin, konting mantika. Magpiprito tayo ng baboy dito, parang gagawin nating chicharon. Pero itong baboy na to, pinakuluan na natin adobo style sa konting suka, konting paminta, at maraming bawang. Tapos tubig. Pinakuluan natin ng pinakuluan hanggang lumambot siya. Tapos tinabi natin ang tubig, pinatuyo natin ng konti, ipiprito natin dito sa ating mantika para siya lumutong. Hahanguin na natin. Okay. Bawang. Lagay na natin ang ating kangkong. Lagay tayo ng konting toyo. Suka. Natin ang ating paminta. Totos na natin ang ating chicharon.
Even catch from the sea does not escape the Pinoy's playfulness with adobo.
As usual, mantika, daming bawang. Sama na natin. Suka. Samahan natin ang siling labuyo. At yung tinta. Lagyan natin ng konting toyo. Paksakan natin ng dahon ng laurel. Sa tingin ko, okay na tayo rito, no? Luto na yung pusit.
Visayans also have adobo. And who better to show us how to make Visayan adobo than the Visayan herself, Glenda Barreto.
Bao.
Wow.
So,
Glenda, paano yun?
we'll do an Ilonggo
Okay.
adobo. The pork, the difference here is they add ginger,
Ah.
garlic, onion,
Okay.
freshly cracked peppercorn. This is already
The achuete.
the achuete. I boiled this in oil
And then that's
and
the suka.
vinegar. You add water.
You put salt na?
Yes.
Okay. And then you wait for it
Parang,
to...
parang hindi.
Oh, parang hindi. And
So we'll just wait for it to tenderize. And then we fry it. If the sauce is a little too thin, we reduce up to the desired consistency that you like. It's just garlic, peppercorn, bay leaf, vinegar, and that's it. But other parts of the Visayan Islands would add a little ginger and achuete.
A cooking episode would not be complete without something exotic. Would you dare try adobong sinuso ng baka?
We're doing sinuso adobo, the Central Luzon recipes. Soy sauce, vinegar, garlic, pepper, and bay leaves. And we're going to marinate our sinuso.
Ito ngayon ang adobong sosyal. Deboned.
I'm going to do the skinless breast of chicken stuffed with pate, garlic, vinegar, soy sauce, and peppercorn. This is our marinade for the chicken. So we marinate it now for just about an hour for it to have the adobo flavor. Then we keep this in the refrigerator for about an hour. It has been marinating for an hour. We're ready now to stuff. Chicken liver adobo pate. And then we fold. We wrap this in foil and bake it. spreads this in flour. And then in pinipig.
Okay.
Flour first,
Then egg.
and then egg. And pinipig. Let it rest for a while, then we fry it later.
Since I'm a fake Kapampangan, and this is a Kapampangan dish, I thought I'd bring in a true Kapampangan, okay? All you have is crabs, which is ema in Kapampangan, and then you have plenty garlic, and then you have calamansi, and then you have salt and oil. Now, yung oil, normally, or the best is
The lard from the pork lard.
taba ng baboy. Pero, since we're conscious of cholesterol, cooking oil na lang. The calamansi, you mix with the alige. And then, kayo, Des, what do you do? Oh, dito ka.
Kami, we beat it until it's smooth and yung mga buo-buo are
Oo,
gone.
oo.
But I kind of like your way better.
Kasi I'm tamad.
This is a more practical
I
way
do
of
this
doing
way.
it.
Okay? And then,
And you do
Yeah.
this. See, I
Yes.
like this.
you see? If you want it really smooth, you have to wait and really mash it like this. But, kung if you're tamad like me, pwede na.
But it's also nice to have a little buo-buo in the
Buo-buo,
sauce.
oo. So, I put it back na. Diba? The most difficult part is preparing this calamansi and the aligi. That's the one that's most tedious. But after that, it's very, very easy. Diba? Oh, how much shall we put? The more, the merrier.
Yes.
Okay. Bawang. Okay. Actually, you fry the crabs in the bawang. Now your crabs are ready, but you put the aligi just before you serve. Don't let it stay because magda-dry out.
Okay.
And then, you go the aligi. Ayan, no?
That's it. Ooh, yummy. Harap.
That's it. Adobong ema.
Sausawan is something that is unique in Southeast Asia, but particularly in the Philippines. We have a whole lot of combinations of sausawan, which can be, very personal or quite regional as well. In the case of adobo, and because it's very Asian for us to combine flavors and textures, that the sausawan, in the case of say an adobo, sa amin sa Batangas, gusto namin sabayan niya ng medyo matamis. Like an achara, for example, is a good complement to an adobo because of the sweetness of the pickled papayas or vegetables.
How do we eat adobo? It's funny, but it's consistent with the way Kapampangans love to eat savory and sweet. That is how it's eaten. So adobo with banana. Sometimes it's mashed and mixed with the rice. And then the adobo sauce is drizzled on the mashed rice and banana mixed together. And then you eat it with the meat. Or, if mangoes are in season, then it is eaten with a spoonful of mango and the adobo sabay with the rice. There are some people that like to eat it with kamatis, but the kamatis is not sliced with their hand. They pierce it and mash it, and you tear it with your fingers. I would think it is part of tradition because we grew up that way. In the olden days, that was how they used to eat it. And this is particular to Bacolor in Pampanga.
A rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. And adobo, made in a variety of ways, would taste as great. Dahil sa panlasang Pinoy, patok ang adobo. Papaano man ito niluto? I'm Susan Calo Medina, huwag maging dayuhan sa sariling bayan. Ito, and then, chok, chok, chok.
Oh, naku, huwag
Pero
na.
ko muna.
Itaas mo muna. Chok-chok mo ko muna.
chok.
Isa pa, para
Chok.
mabilis. Oh. Okay.
Chok, chok, chok. You chok, chok it.
Correct ka dyan.